Hello and welcome to Ballot of the People with me, Graeme Pryce. Right, I've had quite a lot of opinions in the last few days, but mostly a huge amount of support, so I thought I'd just do a very quick follow-up to my video about the fake farmers being fuming about the fallibility of their nefarious tax dodging now that Labour are in office. I would imagine that's what contributed a lot to the petition as well. I've heard some very interesting points of view from a wide variety of people that I wouldn't usually get a chance to engage with, and that is what this channel is supposed to be about, really, is people sharing their views and being able to access a bit of honesty rather than just letting the media tell them what their views are and living in a right-wing fantasy. Of course, there were a few that were clearly disagreeing with me, but were somehow unable to express themselves without hilarious, offensive nonsense and degenerative behaviour in general. I'm going to have a little look at a couple of those too, right after this. I was just looking at my channel analytics and I noticed that 53% of people who watch my videos weren't subscribed. The pain. Come on, just have a quick check that you've subbed, liked and rang the bell. Make a skinny old scouser a little bit happier today. I have to say, my position has changed a little bit. Not much, just a little bit. There were a few points that some people explained really well to me that I didn't know about, and they were actual farmers, not tax dodgers, in the comments section of my video about the farmers' protest. The inclusion of certain assets on the farm that are counted against the total sum of the farm seems a little bit unfair to me. I actually checked the price of a combine harvester once. Don't ask me why, it must have been a very slow night. Over £1 million. Over £1 million. And mind you, they are quite cool, aren't they? They are like mad. Anyway, it's over £1 million for a combine harvester. It's reminded me of the winter fuel thing quite a lot. I broadly agree with the idea of it, but now that I'm in possession of a few more facts than I was before, I think it might have been better if they made the threshold 5 million rather than 3. And I'd remove the idea of taking all assets into account as well. The biggest and most industrial farms obviously will have the most amount of machinery and like farm vehicles, so I suppose it gives them a bit of an advantage. But hopefully it would still put off those buying land for less than honourable reasons. See, I do think about these things quite seriously. I don't just want to eat the rich and burn down Parliament. Not yet anyway, give them a couple of months and see how they're doing. I'd like to see things made a bit easier for the kind of farmers that commented here. They have been treated like shite for years by various industries and governments, and I do think the public generally don't really value them enough. It's just shocking really, considering we've got so many Brexit knobheads who want to buy everything grown in Britain with a big fuck off Union Jack on it. You'd think they'd appreciate the farmers a bit more, wouldn't you? But yeah, easier for normal farmers and a bit less easy for the kind that have owned the land as part of their stately home since their ancestors stole it off the peasants in 1634. Or bastards like Clarkson who don't even hide that they're buying it to avoid tax and are laughing in the faces of all of us, while you and me who own bugger all have no way of avoiding paying tax on anything or everything. Everything's got tax on it, hasn't it? So I think that's all I've got to say on the actual policy itself for now, but there was a whole other aspect of it, wasn't there? The media made sure there was plenty for us to see. The tractors driving around London was quite a sight, wasn't it? Bet it wasn't if you lived there though. Did you see the state of Nigel Farage? What the fuck had he come dressed up as? Did you see the kip of him? Maybe that's his latest grift. He's probably bought shares in a fancy dress shop somewhere and he's going to turn up at the border dressed as a fucking customs officer next week. Maybe he could dress up as a black and white minstrel for his next Reform UK meeting. They'd probably love that. Apparently he just wears a cloak of invisibility when he goes to Clacton though, because nobody's ever seen the twat round there. Could he possibly give his dumbass followers more proof that he is a charade of a man than that? At least Clarkson actually owns some land and equipment, and while it's clearly a hobby, I mean, the man owns a collection of classic cars worth over £2 million. I doubt he's losing any sleep about his crops failing. But he's actually a little bit more genuine than Nigel fucking Froggage, isn't he? There were a few interesting comments as well. I tried to get them in time, but I didn't quite. But this chap, Paul Harrison, 6417, said, "This guy is an oxygen thief." Thanks for that, Paul. That was a valuable and interesting contribution you've made there. And I'll be sure to take it on board and endeavour to steal less oxygen in future. Absolute fucking spam brain. Another guy, David Allen 1481, was one of the first to comment and got this one in early. "I just showed my 6-year-old granddaughter your video and then asked her to draw a picture of you. It looks a lot like this." And then he posted an emoji of a clown. I don't think he should be showing his 6-year-old granddaughter my videos. I am quite sweary sometimes, and I might be a little bit too woke for her as well. But I responded by kindly informing him that she must be wrong because most clowns have got more hair than me. Nice try though, Dave. Several levels of intricate piss-taking there in just one short comment. I almost approve. There were a few comments that just called me a disgusting lefty bastard and had loads of swearing in them as well. I let them through, I always do. You've got to laugh, haven't you? But they seem to have disappeared now. They were either so filthy that YouTube has took them down, or they were left by bitter tax dodgers who'd had a whiff of this year's cider from the orchids and then thought better of it later on and deleted them. Shame, really. Some of them were quite funny. Thank you for watching if you've gotten this far, and I do want to say thank you as well to the few people who knew a lot more than I did about farming and told me about it in the comments politely and with a bit of humility despite the fact that they disagreed with me. That's a rare quality these days, that we're supposed to think politics is black and white, and now if someone doesn't agree with you, you must hate them. They might be evil and possibly even satanic. What a world we live in, eh? Anyway, I'm hoping I might get to 3,000 subs by the new year. So have a look if you've subscribed and hit the like button if you've enjoyed the video. If you want to help the channel further, there are all the links necessary in the descriptions box below, along with the join button for memberships. Now that certainly isn't all I have to say, but it is as much of what I've got to say as I'm going to say today. Ta-ra-la. Now that isn't all I've got to say, but it is as what is... Annie, I'm talking bollocks again, mate. As usual.